The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Bet Rivers. Claim your risk-free bet up to $500 over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Bet Rivers. At sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Bet Rivers. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Plus, we know that's it. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No, me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really real, villain real. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. We did it again. Somewhat did it again, but we did it again. I didn't get, you know what? Okay, first of all, just recapping from when I last was here. Portland plus 13, literally never in doubt. Scott, I know you had your opportunity to say something, so I won't recap everything you said. But I just would like everybody to know that my hatred for the Celtics in winning games that they're supposed to win, that has a mutual hatred of the Clippers. And I promise you here on today that there is not a time you will ever hear me recommend Clippers to you. Ever. There is not a time. I don't care what's going on. There's no situation where it's a good idea to take the Clippers at all. That's all I have to say about that. Clean face Scott is back. He finally got a haircut. Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beam me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, doing pretty well. I know Munaf and I had a good show in general yesterday. Unfortunately, could not get the sweep. The Rockets fell just a bit short. Luka has a bad thumb, drops 41 points, whatever. But for the lock, it was easy. Had the Celtics actually laying 13 against the Bulls. Perfect slam dunk spot for them to bury this team. They were intentionally fouling Andre Drummond midway through the fourth quarter up 25 because they needed to win by at least 23. They did. They won by 27. I said they'd win by 30 on the show, so I missed it by that much, but still got the 13 there. Rockets fell a bit short. Overall, though, backing the teams that basically needed to win worked out quite well. The Knicks buried the Hornets like I thought they would. The Celtics won. I was a bit off on the Warriors game because they choked away a 24-point lead. We can talk about that game in a second, but the point is the Warriors did cover in the end, the plus 1.5. For the most part, look,
it was honestly.
It was first of all, it was a hell of a game. It was a tremendous game of basketball down the stretch. But
yes, it was. And it was a masterful choke job by the Warriors. I will humbly admit that.
The Kings tried too. They tried to choke it too, but the Warriors wanted it more.
As somebody who got down on Warriors to win the in-season tournament, masterful choke job. I mean,
24.
Yo, the last couple of possessions where they were up like 5 or 6, and they had back-to-back turnovers, and Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox made them pay for it.
You mean Draymond doing a bounce pass with 18 seconds on the shot clock right out of bounds?
Yeah, right. No, but it was
Curry getting
trapped
right in the backcourt, Kurt, and then he just chucked it right to the other team.
Yo, it's like if you ever have like kids that you're coaching, that's the film that you want to show them to say, hey, don't give up on a game, because sometimes the other team just gives it to you. Like, I swear, sometimes I don't know how the Warriors end up losing that game.
Well, also to touch quickly upon that game, I know we only have 7 games today, so we actually do have some time to talk about a brief recap of yesterday. The Warriors game, props to Sacramento for coming back. You know, it takes a lot of resilience to actually come back, but a reminder, they didn't actually need to. As long as the Warriors won by less than 12, they were good to go. I hate the point differential. I'll get into that rant in a second. But the Warriors were up, as you said, 5 or 6 with about a minute or two to go, and then they had back-to-back turnovers. They blew the game. Shout out to Monk for hitting that impossible layup runner, whatever you want to call it there, to give them the lead in the final 10 seconds. I got to call out Steve Kerr. I thought Kerr was abysmal in the final 4 or 5 minutes. Mostly, he brought Wiggins back in. Made sense. Wiggins was actually great yesterday. So props to Wiggins. I believe he had 29, played good defense in general. I don't know how you bench Moody for those final 4 or 5 minutes and bring in
Bro,
Klay
so
Thompson.
when he
I don't know
came
what
out,
the hell you're thinking.
hey, no, so look, when he came out, I was literally sitting there. I'm like, dang, they pulling Moody, he's hot. And then
He
they
hit
was talking
2
about
heat
he had
check
missed.
threes. They didn't
No,
touch
but
rim.
No, but the fact is, not only did he hit those heat check threes, but if you watch the play, there was a play that got blown dead because of I think Clay set an illegal screen.
They
And
stuck his
he
knee
came
out.
off that screen and he hit that shot too.
Yeah.
Like he hit the dead ball shot too. And I was like, oh wow, he's not missing anything. Next thing you know, boom, Moody's instantly coming out the game. And I was like, dang.
Clay's
That's
best
brutal.
play of the entire fourth quarter was the ball falling out of his hand during a three-point shot into an assist to Steph Curry. The ball fell out of his hand, rolled to basically backcourt, and the defense just kind of tried to get the ball, and Curry was wide open. That was the best play Clay made in the entire second half. He went 1 for 5 in the second half. He was terrible. And yet Kerr, even post-game, was giving all of the coach speak. Moody, hell of a player, always ready. He's going to be really good. And you bench him for Klay Thompson, who was terrible the entire second half. I thought Kerr was awful. That challenge on the Steph offensive foul was abysmal. He clearly stuck his leg out as a waste of a timeout. You probably could have used that at some point in the final minute. I thought that was bad. But the rotations were kind of a mess because at some point, I also blame Kerr for what Klay has become. Because Klay is, I've called delusional at times because he still thinks that it's 2017 and he thinks that he's still this guy that he's not. Kerr's an enabler. At some point, you have to realize this guy should not be on the floor. Like, he's brutal.
Did you just call him an enabler?
Yeah, Kerr's an enabler because he doesn't hold Klay accountable at all. Under no circumstance during the final 4 or 5 minutes, he had a great first half. Klay was actually solid in the first half. Did nothing in the third quarter. Did nothing in the fourth quarter. You can't pull Moody there. At some point, it's either politics or you trusting the veteran guys. Your team's below 500. Like, you have to realize what year it is. It's 2023. Klay has some good moments on occasion. They're pretty rare. Under no circumstance, and you agree with it, should Moody have been off the floor in the final 5 minutes. He was one of your best players the entire game. You cannot pull him there in the final 4 or 5 minutes in basically a 1 to 2 possession game. Klay should have been on the bench, and even post-game, Kerr isn't even saying that he regrets the decision. He's just saying, I have to trust my veteran guys. No, you don't. Trust the young guys. Moody's good. Give him some playing time. But I got to roast Klay again because he was awful in the fourth quarter and the third quarter, and Kerr at no point thought to himself, let me use the young guys to carry me to the finish line. And he didn't do it. So I have to call Kerr out for that.
Man, it's called him an enabler. That man, you're an enabler of bad basketball.
It's an awful
Oh
shot selection,
man,
by the way. Kerr doesn't care. Kerr just looks at all the bad shots by Klay and goes, he'll make the next one. No, he won't. He hasn't made these bad shots all year. You have to realize what year it is. Let Moody play. Like, I just think it's ridiculous. But either way, you have anything else you want to add for that game?
no, I don't. I mean, you got it. You said your piece. That's fine. Um, Nah, that just killed my Warriors in season tournament bet. That was it. Nah, it's nothing else though. So in season tournament will continue another day. We're not going to talk about today. We have regular basketball, boring regular
I do want
season.
to make one point quickly on the tournament. I think it's fun. I think that it has done exactly what it was supposed to do, which is revive some interest in the regular season. Having said that, Butler not playing in the game last night in the game that Miami's still technically alive for in the group is pretty funny to me. For if there was one team that wouldn't care about this whole whatever, it would be the Heat. So I'm not surprised Butler ended up not playing. The other point is the point differential, which I mentioned before. I think it's a terrible tiebreak system. I thought it was very funny with Missoula intentionally fouling Drummond up 25 in the fourth quarter to get him to miss free throws. Billy Donovan got pissed and they started having a conversation mid-game. What are you doing? He's like, oh, no, it's for point differential. And Donovan's like, oh, okay, you're just embarrassing me on national TV. Okay, sure, whatever, it is what it is. It's a bad tiebreak system. You're rooting for 45.
I just think it's terrible that the Orlando Magic had the head-to-head win against the Celtics, but the Celtics are the one going on to the next round. Like they really just
Orlando
beat the
didn't get
crap
in.
out of them. Like,
Yeah,
they really just
but
beat the crap out of them. They have the same record, and they didn't
shout out
get
to the
it. But
Nets for being the reason why the Celtics ended up making it through in that group. But the point differential, you can make an argument it works for other sports like soccer, for example. That's because you're looking at basically 3 goals. There's a lot. Scoring means a lot more in soccer than it does in basketball because of how rare it is in comparison. Point differential is just dumb. I think if you wanted to actually find a good system, use the standings. I heard Candace Parker recommend that during Inside the NBA last night. She said that you should go according to the standings for the tiebreaker. So if the 2 seed's tied with the 7 seed in the Eastern Conference, give it to the 2 seed. I'm in favor of that. I think that makes sense. Of course, head to head is the initial tiebreak, and then you would go to the standings. But I do think point differential makes no sense because you just see a circus that's not real basketball in the final 5 minutes of games. That's my last point I want to make.
all right. Speaking of betting basketball, I got to talk to you about Bet Rivers. Bet Rivers has some of the best live betting markets that you can find out there, and they have a whole ton of props, and they're available in over 14 states plus Ontario, Canada. My Bet Rivers player of the day is, well, you're just going to have to wait to hear that. We haven't even gotten down to breaking down the games. Then I'll tell you my Bet Rivers player of the day. But sign up using our link and get a risk-free bet up to $500. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betrivers. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betrivers. From gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hoo-wee. Man, Steve Kerr, the enabler. I'm going to start calling him that from now on.
I think it's a great
Enabler.
nickname for him. Draymond's been getting texts. He had another bad tech last night. Steph kind of called him out for it late, but yeah, I didn't hear Kerr make any comments about that one.
He enabled Jordan Poole as well, and now look at him. He's an enabler. Like, it's crazy that people just out here enabling people like that. First game up on the docket, we have the Washington Wizards on the road going to play the Orlando Magic that got cheated out of their appearance in the quarterfinals of the in-season tournament. Line opened up at 10, is still sitting here at -10. 234 is the total. Injury report for these two teams. And we have here do we have here? Yeah, we do have here. There we go. That's here. We have here for the Washington Wizards, nothing to report here. Unfortunately, that means everybody's expected to play. And for the Orlando Magic, you have Markelle Fultz out. Jonathan Isaac is questionable. Wendell Carter, is still out long-term with that hand injury. All right, we got an angry Orlando Magic team going up against one of the worst teams in the league. Scott, what are you doing here laying 10?
Well, I know obviously Orlando first half is going to be worth consideration because it's been a
Worth
phenomenal
consideration?
Yeah, I was being modest. I was going to let you kind of hammer it home, but
Worth
yeah, it's kind of an
consideration?
autoplay. And I did find something interesting though about the Wizards, which is that they are actually pretty good in the first half on the road, but they are the worst first half home team in the league. I don't know what it is, but they're terrible in DC in the first half of games. It's like a massive differential between the home and road splits. I think I'm going to go with Orlando because they're on fire. They've won a bunch of games in a row. They've been in great form. I called them the dark horse candidate to win the division earlier in the offseason, and that so far looks pretty good. I still think they need another shooter, but I like the cohesion with this team. A reminder, not even just Wendell Carter, but also Fultz hasn't played that much, and yet they've still been really good. Just simply put, Banchero had a bad start to the season. He's been very good for the last month and change. Wagner's been good. Both of them have actually had moments. But I do think that Orlando, you can argue, is going to be extra motivated after getting eliminated from the play-in. I mean, not the play-in, the in-season. I'm not sure if that matters, but I just like the form they're in. Orlando actually has a team that they can be proud of for once. First time in a while. But I do think Orlando's going to win this game
Since
comfortably.
Dwight Howard. First time since Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard, they had like 1 or 2 years, the bubble year with Vucevic, they made the playoffs, but nobody really cared. But yeah, pretty much since Dwight Howard. This team's good. Simply put, I think they're a well-coached team. Suggs is a great defensive player. I would vote for him to be first team all defense. I look forward to seeing Poole deal with him all night because I think that Suggs is going to put him in a box. So it should be a pretty fun matchup. But the Wizards don't really have much that I like. They beat Detroit. Congratulations. We might be able to beat Detroit at this point. So nice win by the Wizards. But I got to go Orlando. I just like this team. I think they're in good form.
Yeah, I mean, this is really easy, guys. First of all,
are we playing
is
the
Orlando?
Drop or no?
But yeah, we're gonna play the drop. But like, you have Orlando at home. There's really nothing else to talk about here. Like, Orlando's been really, really good at home. We have Orlando, who's 14-3 ATS over the course of the season, 5-0 as a favorite. Is the Orlando Magic 8-1 at home? I mean, uh, I'm not getting ahead of that train. I'm absolutely not. The Orlando Magic been cruising. This is one of the worst teams in the league. I know it's a big number, but I'm going chalk here. I think they get it done by at least, I say 13 points here. All right, where we at? Here we go.
Who's got the chalk?
All right. Chalk to go for the first game on the slate. 234 is the total there. That's actually come up a little bit from 233. What are you doing here?
I'm just going to take the Magic team total over. I'm not going to try to get cute with the Wizards. Orlando's a good defensive team. Orlando also does not exactly play that fast, but the Wizards are so bad defensively, they might have to go fast because there might be a guy wide open 5 seconds into the shot clock. But I do think looking at Orlando's recent performances offensively, they've quietly been pretty solid offensively.
Mm-hmm.
So to go through the numbers here, last 5 games, scored 130 against Charlotte, 113 against Boston. Boston's one of the best defensive teams in the league, so that's a good showing there. Scored 124 against Denver, 126 against Toronto, 128 against Indiana. They've been really good offensively lately. So I'm going to back that trend against one of the worst defenses in the league. Give me Orlando team total over.
Yeah, looking at the last 5 games for the Orlando Magic, they are that did a lot of refreshing that I didn't need to do. There we go. Last 5 games for the Orlando Magic, they crap, I can't pull it up. Whatever, fine. They're really good defensively. That's what I'm trying to say. Since I can't pull up my stat and say my stat, it doesn't want to let me do that. They're really good defensively. So, looky here, top 10 defense over the past 5 games in terms of points per game. Wizards struggling with points inside the paint. Magic dominating points inside the paint. I think that they'll be able to score a bunch, just like you said there, Scott. I'm with you. Although I really do think that it's probably an under for the full game total because I do not think the Wizards are doing their part. You said a Orlando Magic team total over. I would take a Wizards team total under. I really like with Jordan Poole probably getting strapped up by Jalen Suggs. I think that the Magic are going to do a pretty good time of limiting Kyle Kuzma inside the paint, what he's going to be able to do. I can't see this Wizard team scoring a bunch of points today. So I'll take the under for the full game, but I do agree with your Orlando Magic team total over. All right. Any props you have?
For this game, I feel like there's a potential blowout script, so I'm a bit concerned about the actual props with Orlando overs. I'm trying to think of some trends. If you want to go by trend based, Suggs under 4.5 rebounds is cash in 9 of the last 10 and 4 of the last 5. It's about minus 125. If you want to go with that angle, once again, I'm just too concerned about this team getting killed. So I don't exactly have much. No, I think I'm just going to pass on the props. I just think this game could be extremely ugly.
Jordan Poole under 17.5 feels really good to me. I was trying to, man, what was
Speaking
it?
of
Was the other
enablers, by the way,
game.
he gets to take whatever shot he wants every single game. Speaking of
Yeah.
enablers.
Yeah.
So
And it'd be bad. Like, there's a point where I was waiting for Jordan Poole to turn it on. And I think he had a pretty good pass. Like, before that injury, that ankle injury, he had a pretty good 2-3 games before that. This is back time to fade
it wasn't
Jordan
even
Poole.
that good, by the way. The 2-3 games you're thinking of, he had like 30 points, but he took 26 shots. Like, he was just jacking up more shots. The efficiency has not been there all year long. So that's my concern about Poole 17.5 is that if he has a bad shooting game, but he still takes 20-something shots, if you're an NBA player taking 20-something shots, you should get to at least 18. So that's kind of the concern there. But yeah, I understand your angle. I think that Suggs is going to have a great game tonight, at least defensively.
Yeah. So backing Poole under on points and Jalen Suggs 1.5 over 1.5 steals and blocks is minus 135 now.
That's an angle I like for Poole. I'll take the turnovers in that one. I think he's
Yeah,
going to be turning over a
Suggs
lot.
over 1.5 steals is plus 133. I really like that play today. That's probably it's a little bit of a baby dog, but that's in dog consideration there because I think that Suggs has been really good getting 2+ steals over the past month or so. All right. What are we doing here? Before we get to the next game on the slate, got to talk to you about prize picks. I already gave you one play that I really like. That's my prize picks play of the day. Jalen Suggs over more than one and a
More
half
than, yeah,
steals.
more than.
Yeah, more than 1.5 steals. Or go find Jordan Poole lower than 17.5 points on prize picks. You can, and plus, look at this. Maybe Suggs Because Suggs has had some injury issues. We can say that. He's had some injury issues. Healthy Jalen Suggs is really, really good.
Mm.
But maybe he plays this game and he gets hurt in the first half. We hope not. But if he does, guess what? Prize is going to give you the reboot bonus where they're going to give you that injury insurance that everybody's been asking for. Nobody else is doing that. Nobody else is doing that like Prize Picks. So make sure you tap into Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/SGPN. Use code SGPN for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/SGPN. Code SGPN. Prize Picks Daily Fantasy Sports made easy. All right. And we're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research everything from the NFL, NBA, soccer with historical stats and data. You got the Parlay Optimizer tool. Green, green, green. Remember that with the Parlay Optimizer tool, and you'll be able to get your parlay broken down by leg. You get the expected probability, all sorts of hit rates, all of that. Stop betting in the dark. Join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets. Download Hall of Fame Bets or visit the HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN. Get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right, next game on the slate. Now we're finna start getting rolling. Los Angeles Lakers on the road going to play the Detroit Pistons. Pistons open up as a 7-point dog at home. They are still sitting at +7, 229.5 is total injury report for these two teams. And for the Los Angeles Lakers, we have LeBron James questionable. Anthony Davis is probable. Cam Reddish is probable. No Rui Hachimura, no Gabe Vincent, no Jerry Vanderbilt, as it's been for a while. And for the Detroit Pistons, we have Bojan, who is out, but hey, he's listed. Bojan's making a return soon. And we have Joe Harris, Monty Morris as well, that been out for a while. So
Bojan's having that Kyler Murray arc where he's returning to a team that has like 1 or 2 wins, and that's how it's supposed to go.
only 2 wins. And
I want to congratulate the Pistons, by the way. You officially won or lost the tank ball, depending on how you're looking at it, to the Wizards. So congratulations. You are now the worst team in the league. Congratulations.
Yeah. Still 7-10 ATS though. So I mean they're not good for nothing, but pretty good for nothing. 3-5 at home.
They've lost, what,
Would
13
expect it
straight?
a lot better. Yeah, I think it
13
is
straight?
13 straight.
Yeah,
Yeah, something like
rough.
that. It's really, really bad. And but they covered. They just lost 2 since their last cover. You have the Lakers here, who are not any better, even though they're 10-8, 7-11 ATS, 4-5 on the road, 4-7 as a favorite.
I mean, the last time we saw the Lakers, it was over quickly.
I really want to take the Pistons here as a home dog, but the Lakers really do beat up on bad teams. These are the only games they can win. They can't win against good teams. A la,
They can beat Phoenix.
Yeah.
That might be a mental block thing, but they can beat Phoenix.
Was Phoenix technically? I think Phoenix was technically under 500 at that point, so we might not be able to count them.
Okay, you get what I'm trying to say, though.
Yeah, no. It's whenever they play good teams, they get ran out the gym. When they play bad teams, it's a competitive game, or they end up blowing them out. I really don't want to say Lakers. I think I'm just going to go Pistons.
All right, I'm going to go Lakers here. It's not really a strong opinion because this team is 3-6 straight up away from home. They're not a good road team. The Pistons, though, are 1-7 at home, so they're basically equally bad at home compared to on the road. To go through a trend that I saw on the internet from a friend of mine, away favorites off of a 40-point loss or more are 11-1 ATS this century. So it's a pretty, once again, obscure angle because not many teams are getting killed by 40 and then favored the next game on the road. But away favorites of 40 who lost by 40 the previous game are 11-1 ATS. So I do think that for this spot, I'm going to go with the Lakers. A lot of it's pride. That's basically what that trend is telling you. If you get embarrassed, you better show up the next game. You're professionals. The Lakers also have some aspirations to win a championship. I don't think they're going to, but a lot of people think they can. Point is, I do expect to see a solid effort pride-wise from the Lakers in this game. LeBron, AD, they got buried by Embiid and company. I think they bring it in this game. I really enjoyed the Monty Williams quotes of him being proud of his team, or he was impressed by what he saw in practice because a couple of players dove for some loose balls. You're 2-15. We're praising effort for loose ball diving now? Okay, sure. But anyway, I think the Lakers win this game comfortably. The Pistons are a laughingstock. If you get blown out by double digits against the Wizards at home, the Lakers should be able to beat you by double digits. So I'll take the Lakers to win this game comfortably. They lost by
Yeah,
19.
the 11-1 trend was really the selling point. All
They
right, I'll
lost
go
to
Lakers.
Washington by 19 on their home floor. Like, really? 19? That's rough.
I mean, it's the toilet. It was, I'm really
Thou shalt
not
not lay
holding that
points in the
way.
toilet bowl. I
Yeah,
know, but
that was
19 is
the toilet
crazy.
bowl. That was the toilet bowl of all.
Losing's
And of
losing,
course,
but
I faded
19
them.
is wild
I
on your
didn't
home
fade them. I
floor.
took them. Yeah, I
That's a
took
bit
them.
wild.
So that's why. That's why they did it. It's because I took them. And you never lay points in the toilet bowl. Never. All right. Yeah, the 11-1 trend was pretty much the best thing. All right, I'll go Lakers -7. I don't like it though. Probably not betting this game. 229 is total. 229.5. I'm sorry.
I mean, the Pistons can't guard anybody, but they can't score. So they're kind of in no man's land.
I think the Lakers are bad enough to let Pistons score, actually. I'll go over.
I'm going to lean over as well. I do think the Lakers get an offensive showing together, but they also can't shoot. That's the problem with the Lakers. They can't shoot from the outside. So I really don't have much for the total here. There's a couple ways to go about it. If I do think the Lakers are going to win by double digits, which I do, a couple ways to get there. So I don't really have much of a script here. I think I'm going to lean under, but I don't feel great about it. I'm going to pass on the total entirely.
All right, any props or anything else you like in this one?
I'm going to actually call out AD to have a good game today, which is a dangerous situation, but he did not have a good game last game, and we know AD, based on the playoffs last year and this year, it's not a back-to-back, and he did not go off last night. So he's probably in line for a good game here. Detroit's been abysmal at actually stopping opponent big men from rebounding. You're looking at AD just having a potentially good matchup. Durant I like as a player, but I do think AD is in line for a very good game tonight. So I think he's in line for a big stat line, maybe a 25 and 15 type game from AD. So I don't mind 80 points and rebounds.
All right. Yeah, I'm done with this game. Next game. Well, nah. Nah.
No, you already decided.
Yeah, I don't got nothing else for this one. I'm trying to force it. All right. You don't have to bet everything. Phoenix Suns on the road going to play the Toronto Raptors. Suns opened up -1. They are now -3. 226.5 is total there. That's come up 4 points. Probably because Kevin Durant's questionable to play in this one. Grayson Allen also questionable. Nazir Little's out. Bradley Beal doesn't exist. I mean, Wizard. If there's anything Wizards fans can rejoice about, they can rejoice that they were right about Bradley Beal. Like that.
Keep a bag, Beal?
Oh man, I mean he does keep a bag Beal. That is still Bradley keep a bag Beal, if we're keeping it honest. Coloco's still out for the Raptors. That's about it. Everybody else is playing. This line is criminally low.
It was a lot lower, but it has basically doubled overnight. So a lot of people seem to be on the Phoenix train, including me.
And why is this only why was this one at all? Like even without KD, I don't.
That's a great question. That I don't know, but I expected the line to move.
But
I took it overnight
like
at 1.5. Durant's questionable, but he was questionable last night, so I did see that he practiced on Tuesday. Phoenix has not played since they beat the Knicks on Sunday, so they've had a couple days off. Durant did practice, so I assume he's going to play in this game. Toronto's in a bad scheduling spot. Shout out to my Nets, by the way. Missing Ben Simmons, missing missing Cam Thomas. 3-1 in the group. Shout out to you, but you ended up beating the Raptors last night. So the Raptors played in Brooklyn. Now they're traveling back to Toronto. It's a back-to-back against a team that has not played since Sunday. I think Durant's going to come back. It's a great spot. Phoenix has also won 7 straight. Now, I am aware on the road, they are 7-2 straight up, but they have been vulnerable. A couple of close games against Utah. They've had a couple of scares, but they have managed to win these games. I like Phoenix in this spot. I think that Toronto, even though they do have the type of team that can give Phoenix problems because Phoenix defensively doesn't exactly have many tweeners that can actually match up against Siakam or Barnes. I just think it's a bad scheduling spot, and I think Durant's going to play. So give me Booker and Durant, who have been, in my opinion, easily the best duo in the entire league this season. They have been carrying the entire damn roster, these two guys. And Booker without Durant basically torched the Knicks in that entire game. Shout out to him for that ridiculous three-pointer at the end. I'm going to go with Phoenix, just simply put. I'm assuming Durant's going to play. That's my handicap. Give me the Suns.
gonna take the Suns too, but if we lose this bet, I'm not gonna be surprised because something smells.
The line, I definitely agree with you, but I took it overnight because I expected the line to move in favor of Phoenix, and it has. The
It's
line
not
does
even.
still look
This isn't
peculiar.
enough. Like
Yeah.
3 is not enough. This is.
No, you'd blindly assume
Does
if
this
Durant's
not smell
playing.
weird to anybody else? Like, does this not feel weird that they're only laying 3 against the Raptors? I mean, I get the Raptors are scrappy at times, and but I would have immediately thought this line would be at least like maybe what 5.5, 6.
5.5 was the line I had in my head. Yeah, that's what I thought.
It, if we lose this, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm going to take Phoenix because it's clearly the way to go. But if this doesn't go our way, Vegas definitely put in a call because this is weird. This is really, really weird.
Mhm.
All right, 226.5 is total here.
I can't take an under with Phoenix involved. I mean, they don't really guard anybody, and Durant's going to be back, so I'll take the over.
Yeah, I'm with you. That was really, I feel like Phoenix wasn't going to guard. And Toronto, at the very least, will be able to score. Maybe Phoenix does some last second, last fourth quarter heroics. Matter of fact, give me Phoenix first half. I don't even want to play with Phoenix in the fourth quarter. Give me Phoenix for the first half, -1.5. That's my real play of this game. But yes, I do enjoy the over as well. Over 226.5. That is 100% how I play it. I'll take Phoenix in the first half. They're well rested. I don't have to worry about the second half hijinks with this team because we've seen it over the course of this season. And Toronto's a really scrappy group. Maybe they come out of halftime with another game plan. Absolutely. Give me the first half with Phoenix. Okay. Let's see here. Props, anything you like?
I think Durant's going to have a great game if he does play, but I'm not going to give out props without him being confirmed. So to look at some props I might be tempted by, I think Nurkic has a good game on the boards in this one. It's mostly just fading, or I should say tailing guys against Pirtle, which I think Pirtle's a pretty good center for when it comes to rebounding, but he has no offensive talent. So you can just use your opposing center and just leave him in the paint the entire game, and nothing bad's going to happen to you. Toronto's also a really bad three-point shooting team. So opposing centers can drop on pick and rolls. They can really just chill out in the paint. I think Nurkic has a good game. I've been critical of Nurkic this season, but the matchup in itself, Toronto, I think Pirtle is a guy who's going to give you basically nothing offensively outside of 5 feet. So I'll take Nurkic to have a good rebounding game.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I think I had the same handicap for Hurdle, but that's why I just took his rebounds, not a double-double or anything. I feel like every time I play his double-double, I get killed on the point. So I took his rebounds. I think that was the only really angle here. And I think Devin Booker for his assist, he's going to have a good day distributing the basketball. Kevin Durant back into the lineup. Grayson Allen probably back into the lineup. Going to give him a lot more options. He's been carrying a workload while people have been out. So now it's a chance for him to take a night off, dish the ball around, get a rack up on assists. So I think Devin Booker assist is a pretty solid play for this one. All right. Next game on the slate, we have the Philadelphia 76ers on the road going to play the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans catching 2.5 at the crib. 231 is the total there. Injury report for these two teams. And we have Daniel House. Oh, I forgot he'd be playing for them. He's out with a quad
I only
injury.
know him for the bubble hijinks. I don't even think of him as an actual player. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. Jay Springer's out. Kelly Oubre, I think there was like some talk that Kelly Oubre was coming back. I
Not
haven't
today. It would
confirmed
probably be in like a week or two.
Yeah, I heard something that he's progressing well though. CJ McCollum's back from that lung injury. Trey Murphy has elevated to doubtful at the very least, and same thing for Matt Ryan, who was also doubtful in this game. They said that CJ said on his podcast that he is going to return to the lineup today. So you can expect it says in, so it sounds like you can expect to see CJ starting there. 2.5 with the Pelicans, who are probably one of the more frustrating teams to bet on this season.
Very, very, very frustrating. But to be fair, they have been better at home. They are not a good road team at all, but at home they've been okay. Philly's just good, just simply put. I mean, you beat the Lakers by 44 last time out at home. You beat OKC on the road, good win there. Lost to Minnesota, Embiid didn't play. I'll toss that out. Beat the Nets by 22, which apparently is a decent win because the Nets are feisty. I'm going to go with Philly in this one. I just don't trust New Orleans. Now, they are at home, so I do think they're going to put together a good effort, and I do think that this is going to be a close game for a decent portion of it. But I just can't trust New Orleans. just simply put. And McCollum coming back's nice. Will he be rusty? Probably. He hasn't played in, what, a month? Because of the lung issue? It's been like a month and change.
Yeah.
I question some rust issues, but I think Embiid can do whatever he wants in this game. So I think that Embiid's going to be able to affect shots defensively. Offensively, I think he'll be able to get Valanciunas into foul trouble relatively quickly. I'm going to lean to Philly because I just like what I've seen from them this season in comparison to New Orleans. If you take New Orleans, I wouldn't be shocked. Like if I told you New Orleans wins this game in the future and you come back tomorrow and they won the game, I wouldn't be totally shocked. But I'm going to lean to Philly. At least I can trust them. I know what effort I'm going to get in a game in, game out basis. I don't have that luxury with New Orleans, so I'm going to lean to Philly.
Well, I think you kind of do have the luxury with New Orleans because you look at what they're doing this season: 10-7-1 ATS for the season, 7-3 at home, and you mentioned it: 7-3 ATS at home, 6-4 street. I'm just gonna roll with home New Orleans here. They've proven me wrong against some like really good teams at home. You know, they've shown that they can go out there and get a win. Now you're bringing CJ back into the lineup. I think that this, you got Jose Alvarado back, you got Najee Marshall back. You're starting to get healthier. Like you're really just waiting on Trey Murphy, and then you have your team back, and you can start getting everybody in game shape, running your rotations the way you want to run them. I think that this team actually is a little bit on an uptick forward, but it's just more of the home aspect that I'm going to take in this non-conference game. So give me the New Orleans Pelicans to get it done today, plus 2.5. 231 is the total. That's come up from 226.5 at open. Probably a little bit of CJ in there, a little bit of Zion, 100% playing in this game in there. What do you like there for the line of the total 231?
I mean, I missed a lot of line movement, but I'm not taking the under. New Orleans doesn't guard anybody. And I think that the Sixers, even if you are picking the Pelicans to win, I don't think you're picking them to win because of their defense.
No.
So I'm going to be on the over. I think each team can reach 115. I'll take the over.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's pretty easy handicap there. I'm not really interested in CJ props, man.
I have to actually see him in action for the first time in a month before I take any props.
Yeah, I will. I think Brandon Ingram. I'm rolling with Brandon Ingram. Who's stopping him? Who's slowing him down? I think he's kind of like
He's a matchup problem for a lot of teams because he's
Yeah.
a lengthy guard forward, and the Sixers don't have that. Who's going to guard him? Batum?
Fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Brandon Ingram, man. I'm gonna have Brandon Ingram for a big day today. That's a gut call by me. Nothing really backing it. All right. Utah Jazz. They have 6 wins.
They've been feistier lately. I mean, Laurie's not played for a couple games, but they've been more watchable recently. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Full game. Utah Jazz on the road going to play the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies are somewhat, somehow, some way laying 4.5. I feel like we've seen this movie before, actually. I feel like this is like literally deja vu. 223.5 is the total injury report for these two teams. And you have for the Utah Jazz, Jordan Clarkson is questionable. Kelly Olynyk is questionable. Lauri Markkanen is out with that hamstring injury for some time. For Memphis, you have, holy crap, I forgot that they look like the Heat out here. All right, John suspended, Luke Kennard, Marcus Smart, Brandon Clark, Xavier Tillman, Jake LaRuvia, all on IR. Steven Adams out for the season.
4.5 is wild.
Deja vu. Hold on. This is like, am I really having a case of deja vu, or did we actually handicap this the other week and they were getting the same? Yes.
Yeah.
Was it tripping? We handicapped this exact same game at Memphis. Memphis laying 4.5 against the Utah Jazz.
To be fair, it is a little bit different because Lauri did have 26 in that game, and now he's not in the lineup. So it is a little bit different based on the lineups, but the spot
it's
itself
not.
is the same.
No, it's not. They won by 6.
Yeah, but I'm saying Lauri's not playing. He scored 26 points. So it is
and
a
so
little bit different.
And so the line's still 4.5, and you lost by 6 with them in the lineup. He accounts for
that's 10.5.
10.5.
I'm just saying, it's the same spot on the schedule, but it is a little bit different with the injuries. I'm not laying 4.5 with Memphis. Like that's just not going to happen. But I also want to give a shout out to Utah for being 1-7 on the road and yet still being better than Memphis at home. Memphis is 0-8 at home. They're 0-8. So, yeah. The great home court advantage doesn't exist without Ja. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Utah. Simply put, I think that even though Utah is a team that's injured, they're not as injured depth-wise as Memphis, but at least Utah has some pride at this point. Like, they've been better lately. They've been more competitive. They had a win. I'm just going through their actual schedule recently. They gave Phoenix a run for their money back-to-back games. They ended up, they got buried by the Lakers and they got buried by Portland, but beat the Pelicans back-to-back games. Pelicans are a psycho team, but still good back-to-back wins there. Laurie didn't play in those games. I'll lean to Utah. They've shown me something. They try. Memphis is just out to lunch. Like, this team is at each other's throats at this point. I'm going to lean to Utah.
Jacob Gilliard is the projected starter point guard for the Memphis Grizzlies. Do you know where he went to school?
There was a Gilliard that went to Cincinnati, but I can't remember if that's the right one or if that's Marcus Gilliard. I'm going to guess Cincinnati because that's the only school I could think of.
Richmond Spiders. The Richmond Spiders.
Oh,
for his defense. Very, very good defensive player while he was back.
Now I got to look up Marcus Gilliard to see if I just made up a player or not. But
yeah, no, he was really, really good defensive player. He was on that Richmond team that was really, really good. If Kobe was here, Kobe would be like, "Oh yeah, they should have been starting that guy." Like, oh my gosh.
I mean, I remember that Richmond team. Now that you mention it, they had Golden at the center spot. Like,
it was like, they were like 100 years old. Like everybody on that team was like 6-year seniors.
Didn't Burton go there as like a power forward with that team?
Yep.
I always thought they'd make the tournament.
He was the A10. He was the A10 tournament MVP.
They beat Iowa in that first tournament game.
Yep.
I think. Yeah.
Yep. It was Iowa and then lost the next round to I can't remember who they lost to, but
I don't
they
remember
did beat Iowa. I remember because they were like 10.5-point dogs against Iowa. I took them on the money line.
Weren't we in
Shout
Vegas
out
for
to
that?
VA basketball. Huh?
We were in
No,
Vegas.
I wasn't. No, I was deployed for that. I remember.
Oh, you weren't there. Okay, so I was there.
You was there.
But I think that was the same day that Kentucky lost, I think. Or that was the day before. But it was definitely.
It was to St. Peter's. It is. Yeah. It's that same day. Yep. There we go. All right. Nice little college basketball experience for y'all. I mean, the total's gone down. It was opened up at 225.5. It's now 223.5. I mean, just give me a Utah team total over.
Okay.
I don't think Memphis is going to slow anything down. I think Utah is going to be able to score. As hurt and battered and broken Utah is, Memphis is way worse. Give me Utah team total over.
I like the rebound props, so I like the under. But I think Kessler and Biyombo have a decent rebounding game in this one. I don't mind Kessler blocks in this game, obviously. He's starting again. He's, of course, a great rim protector. And Memphis, so far this season, doesn't exactly have great shooting numbers. So I do think that they're going to attack the rim. It's not going to work, but they're going to try. So I do think that Kessler is in good line for some blocks. Besides that, I don't mind Keontae George props tonight, especially if Clarkson doesn't play. Somebody's going to have to handle the ball. And we know Clarkson can go into hero mode and try to ball hog a lot. That's what Clarkson does. But if he doesn't play, George is going to have the ball in his hands the entire time. So I think that he's in line for a good game.
All right. Let's see here. We have the Houston Rockets on the road going to play their sons, the Denver Nuggets. Denver opened up -3.5. They're now -7.5. 215.5 is total there. Injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Houston Rockets, Amen Thompson, Victor Oladipo, both not playing. For the Nuggets, Jokic is questionable with that back. Jamal Murray is actually questionable with that hamstring. Eric Gordon here is questionable with that heel. Peyton Watson, probable. Hunter Tyson, questionable. Kankar is out. All right, this season, Rockets 2-0 versus the Denver Nuggets. Oh, excuse me. I couldn't even say that because I had to sneeze. Thank you. 2-0. They've won their last 3 straight against this team, actually.
Now, I will point out both those games were in Houston.
Oh, all 3 of the games were in Houston. Oh, all 3 of the games were in Houston.
Well, you're going back to last year, saying this year too. And I bring it up because Denver is 8-0 at home, which means that they are 4-6 on the road. And Houston is 8-7, but they're 0-6 on the road. So you have a winless road team against an undefeated home team. That's the different dynamic of this matchup. And Houston's on a back-to-back.
I think this is where, son, when you're playing against your dad in pickup basketball, you can never beat him, and you can never beat him, and you finally have that game that you beat your dad. This might be the game that the Nuggets finally be able to beat the Rockets. Maybe. Nah, I mean, well, I'm not taking them if we get a full cast and all these questionables are in, then yeah, sure, give me the Rockets. But like, do
I
you
mean,
like?
seven's a lot for a team that has not looked great without Jamal Murray, but
And just think, they got the reincarnation of Lob City, the Lob City B team to beat the Clippers. If Jokic and Jamal Murray don't play in this game, are we really taking this team again?
no. I do think that Jokic, we don't know if he's going to play or not. That might have been a one-off because all of them are listed as questionable. So we'll
Mhm.
see. Of course, as of right now, we can't take Denver because we don't know who's playing for Denver. I do see Jamal Murray in the questionable tab, though, so there actually is a chance that he might suit up today. So Jamal Murray might be returning. So a lot of it comes down to injury news. Murray is kind of in the same boat as CJ, where I don't want to take any props or assume they're going to look good after not playing for about a month straight.
Mhm.
So Murray coming back would be a big deal. I know we have to give an answer now, but I
So
really want to wait.
this is how I have it.
I have to wait it out for the injury news. There's too much uncertainty for Denver. Like I don't know what to think about this game for 7.
If there's no Jokic, there's no way I'm taking Denver. If you
Okay.
at least give me Jokic, I can make the case and I will be interested in Denver and I'll probably take Denver. If
And
there's no
Murray might
Jokic,
play. So that's worth mentioning too.
yeah. If there's no like you could tell me that Jokic is playing, Gordon is out, Murray is out, I'd probably still take Denver, maybe.
I
But
guess I think I'm leaning to Houston now because I don't know anything about the injury status of all these guys. So as of right now, at about 12:30 Eastern, I'll lean Rockets, but I'm not betting anything. I got to wait for the injury news.
yeah, same. No Jokic, give me the Rockets. Jokic, give me the Nuggets. Pretty simple handicap there. All right.
I like the under. First 2 games went
Yeah.
under by a decent amount. Houston defensively has been great against this team, so I'll lean to the under.
I'm afraid of home Denver just putting up a bunch of points. That's really what it is for me. That the
But
role
Houston might
players
not
find
score
their
because they're on a
stride.
back-to-back, and they can't play on the road. So
I would take a Houston team total under.
okay,
I would do that. I think that's what I would play. I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm nervous about. Again, I don't know what's going on Denver side of ball. So as of right now, give me Houston team total under. All right. Yeah, I
I
can't give you any props or anything. Like I don't know who's on the other side of the ball. I can't even tell you. I can't even give you Houston props because I don't know who's defending them. So
I like
yeah.
Şengün, but that's basically it. I don't have anything.
Oh shit. Yeah, I can buy. I can buy Shannon. Okay. Baby Jokic. The Los Angeles Clippers
Yeah,
are
Clippers.
they're still
First
a team.
game since whatever happened against Denver.
Laying 2 on the road against Sacramento off a back to back after just clinching and a great comeback win against the Warriors, clinching the in season tournament. 231.5 is the total in that one. Injury report for those 2 teams. And we have Mason Plumlee, Brandon Boston. They're on IR. Keegan Murray's TBD. We'll see if he's able to play. Yeah, just give me the Kings.
I'll let you give a brief either disappointed rant or any take, but we're
No,
gonna be
I
on the
mean,
same
like,
page.
no, seriously, like, we just saw this team lose outright as like 7.5 point favorites, maybe 8 something. Yeah, I don't know what it closed at to a Denver team with literally nobody playing, and they let Reggie Jackson and DeAndre Jordan have the revenge game of all revenge games.
They combined for 56 points.
Like,
Reggie
how do I
Jackson went 15 of 19 from the floor. 15 of 19 from the floor.
honestly, truly, like, if I lose a bet fading the Clippers, I'm okay with that.
I
I'm okay
definitely
with
would
that.
feel a lot better fading the Clippers and losing than backing the Clippers and losing.
Yeah, 100%. So
I mean, I've been
I'm
fading the
perfectly
Clippers
fine.
for a month, for like weeks at this point. So welcome aboard. They're just a bad team. I mean, I think they're going to miss the playoffs. So I've gone on record saying that ever since they traded for Harden. I think that this is not going to work. Westbrook, since going to the bench, has been abysmal, which isn't exactly a shock because he's a guy that likes to have.
Continuity, man.
Yeah,
Continuity.
they
That
were
is
they
this
were playing
Clippers'
pretty well
favorite
before they got
word.
Harden.
Continuity. That is their
Yeah, they're
favorite
playing pretty
word.
well. Kawhi looks older. Not surprised. They had a bunch of injuries. Paul George no-showed that game against Denver. I think he went like, what do you have, like 6 points in that game? So he did basically nothing in that Denver game. But they don't guard the point guard. They don't guard the center. They don't really guard anybody. If you're not going to guard point guards, have fun guarding Fox. That's all I'm going to say. Have fun with that matchup.
Oh, and wait till Malik Monk come off the bench. You really gonna be sick there.
The only concern you have for the Kings is that they are on a back-to-back. But a reminder, the last time the Kings played against the Clippers, while on the second night of a back-to-back, they scored 176 points.
Holy shit.
That was the double overtime game. The
That
last
was that
time they
game?
played the Clippers on
That
a
was that
back-to-back,
game?
they scored
It was.
176 points. They were on a back-to-back and scored 176 points and won that game in double overtime. So I'm on the Kings.
It's never a good chance to bet the Clippers. It's really not.
No.
Like, all right.
What do they
this
do
is so
well
easy. Light
at?
the beam. Light the freaking beam, man.
The Clippers organized a 2014 All-Star team and expected to compete in 2023. Like, I don't know what they're
No,
good
so
at.
they have two MVPs, a finals MVP, and Paul George, and they can't win games.
No, they don't guard anybody. And offensively, Kawhi I don't know if you agree with me about Kawhi, but it's not his fault. He looks, I don't want to say diminished, but he looks like he's lost a step or two at this point. No shame in that. He's had a great career. But Kawhi has lost a step. Paul George is fluctuating, good and bad performances. Harden doesn't even pretend to play defense. Westbrook is the same way. Zubac is immobile. He can't guard anybody on the perimeter. They can't guard anyone. Imagine all the
Dang,
off-ball
somebody
action.
played a
the
hit
Kings are
'em
gonna
up
run.
Tupac beat. Scott
Imagine
went
all
crazy.
the off-ball movement, the pick and rolls, everything the Kings run. How are the Clippers going to guard any of those actions? They can't. Like, I think that Fox puts on a show in this game. Fox can go for 30 and 10 again. We saw it a couple of games ago. I think he could do it again. Give me a massive Fox game. I think he's in line for a great game.
I've been talking about MVP Fox. He's slowed down a little bit, but I think he can pick it back up against the Clippers. This is just a hammer spot where everybody's fading the team coming off a back-to-back, backing the Clippers, who probably need a pick-me-up spot from that that Nuggets loss. But this is just who they are. And my 2-1 on the Clippers to miss the playoffs is looking pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. 231 is the total. I'm with the over.
Over. Clippers can't guard anybody. If you give up 56 to DeAndre Jordan and Reggie Jackson, I'm not taking an under. If I told you the Kings scored 130, 135, would you be shocked? Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
I'll be on the over.
All right, you talked about De'Aaron Fox a lot. I agree, I echo those sentiments. If Keegan Murray plays, I'll take his threes. I will. He has a green light. Like, he has the green light of all green lights. He'll make three. Other than that, pretty good on this one. Clippers suck. That's it. Wow, that's all the games we have. Okay. Lock, dog, and we'll drop a quick little underdog lineup as well. Let's see here. For my lock,
I'm trying to think of any plays you actually loved on the card today.
yeah,
I
mean, like, everything's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's very lukewarm. I mean, and those are probably the days that things start hitting. 4.5 is just way too much. Give me Utah plus 4.5 in the toilet bowl.
Thou shalt not.
We just played this. We just played this same situation. Like, that's what's killing me. We just played this exact same situation. The line movement is going down how it went the last time as well. There's no reason Memphis should be laying 4 against anybody. Yeah, give me Utah plus 4.5. That's easy. For my dog, let's fade the Clippers.
Baby dog?
No, I'm going to get De'Aaron Fox points parlay. Give me a second. I just had to put one together.
I saw his points are 27.5, by the way.
Oh, man. Should I just go for 30? I feel like I should just go for 30.
I mean, you can do a parlay with that. You can do Fox 30 and Kings win.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. So let's do that. De'Aaron Fox, 30, Kings win the game is about 3-1. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, it is 3-1. I'll take that. Oh, no, I lied. I hit Clippers on accident. Sorry. Wow, it's even worse. Oh, well, I get it. Okay, that makes sense. De'Aaron Fox and Kings win game plus 260. That is my dog.
All right. So for me, my lock, I am going to go with Fox as well. That matchup is just fantastic. I think 27.5 is too low for a number. Fox had at least 33 in 3 of the last 4 games. He's also going to be a bit motivated because he really was terrible at the foul line last night. And I do think that there is some room to grow or at least build off of what happened yesterday while not being fully satisfied. It was a nice win for Sacramento against one of their arch rivals, team that eliminated them from the playoffs last year, an in-state rival. But simply put, I do think Fox could have played better, especially down the stretch. He went 9 of 17 from the foul line, finished with 29. So I do think that Fox is in line for a good game here where he can definitely showcase a very solid offensive repertoire because the Clippers don't guard anybody. We talked about it with the Luka game against the Clippers about 2 weeks ago. You have a choice between Westbrook with the bench unit, Harden with the starters, Zubac with the starters, whatever matchup you want, he's going to get. So I do think that Fox is going to be able to get whatever he wants. 27.5 is too low. I once again actually like the idea that since he went 9 of 17 from the foul line, he will be pretty focused for this game because he didn't have a flawless game. He could have played better. Give me Fox over 27.5 points at about minus 108 as my lock. For my dog, couple of options here. What do I want to take? Because I'm trying to think of what I actually really liked for this game. Or, you know what? Let me look at AD props because I think that he's actually in line for a good game against the Pistons. What is AD? Sorry, just quickly pulling this up. 80 points. I'm hoping it's not absurd.
I
80
see.
points is 24.5. I'm probably going to do a same game parlay with AD, actually. Let me just see what I can get here. 80 rebounds, are they absurd? They are at 12.5. That's a bit unfortunate, but all right, what does that get
Just
me?
take the 30.
You know,
Take the 30.
you know what? No, I'll go with a hybrid. Give me 80, 25 points and 80, 12 rebounds. That's plus 187.
Okay.
Because I am concerned that they're going to potentially empty out the bench if they're up by a lot. But kind of like what we saw in that Jazz game in the tournament where they were up by 40 and they ended up coasting. But 80, 25, and 12 does seem like a pretty solid all-around game for AD. I'll take it at plus 187.
All right. Let's get down to underdog fantasy. Going to go ahead and throw De'Aaron Fox and AD in our underdog lineup. We actually, me and Munaf cashed our underdog lineup last time I was on the show. Jokic was a void because he didn't play, and DeAndre Ayton had a crazy legacy game over there for Portland. And then we had Joel Embiid, who is now assisting the ball at a high level. Some could say, never mind, I'm not going to start that debate.
No, you can say it. You know, you want
Nope.
clickbait. Come on.
Hey, no, I'm not going to do it because that's what people are going to say. This is clickbait. This is clickbait. Nope. I'm just going to let his play. I'm going to let his play show for itself. I'll be back to talk about his. I don't know. I didn't even mention it today.
For the record, I know what you're hinting at, and I think you're completely wrong. But you know, that's the beauty of it.
That's what everybody says, man. That's what everybody says. But he's gotten. You can't. Oh, you get 23.5 on underdog for 80s points higher. So yeah, shout out to that. Shout out underdog. Finally, a line going our way. What was I saying there about Joel? No, just let the season play out. Let the season play out. We'll see. All right, we got 2. We need one more. Something else you really like.
Let me just quickly look at the card. Sorry, I'm just
Suggs.
trying
Let me
to
see if
remember.
there's Suggs. Can I get a Suggs steal? Maybe no. Is there not even any Suggs plays at all?
That's
Whoa,
pretty
what are you
absurd.
doing?
So, yeah.
What are you doing? Why is there no Suggs plays at all?
Do you want Embiid? Keep it simple against the Pelicans. I mean, they're bad at rebounding. They're bad at stopping opposing centers. Embiid just had a triple-double in 3 quarters. I think he's probably in line for a massive game.
Oh, there goes Suggs. They just moved his name down, like way down the list. Nah, I really want to take the Suggs 1.5 steals at 1.25x spicy.
Oh, so they actually have it. Okay, cool.
Yep, and it's a spicy, so
right.
I want to take that one. All right, we're going with AD higher, 23.5 points. It actually really hurts me to play that, but you know,
It's a good spot. I'm gonna. Yeah,
I trust Scott. I trust you, Scott. I don't trust AD. I trust you.
Yeah, I don't trust AD either.
De'Aaron Fox higher, 27.5 points, and Jalen Suggs higher, 1.5x on the 1.5 steals. 1.25. I'm sorry, 1.25 spicy on the 1.5 steals. That pays $7.5 or $100 gets you $750. Make sure you use that promo code for SGPN at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. That is our underdog contest of the day. Scott, anything else for the people before we get up out of here?
Not really. I see that Billy's mentioning that the Pelicans let Kessler go over his points and rebounds prop the last 2 games. So I think Embiid 40
Paul
piece
Reed.
might be in line for tonight.
Paul
Keep that
Reed.
in mind. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, decent amount of games. Of course, yesterday's schedule was a lot more cramped, but some good games. Hopefully they play out that way.
Yep, very much so. All right, for the 74 people that are rocking with us on the YouTube, make sure you guys like the video. I know there's not enough likes when I go look at it. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed, do all of that stuff. And for all the people that are listening, wherever you get your podcast, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and review. Appreciate that. Other than that, we have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. We're just going to end it like this. We are out of here.